Today we are going to learn about pricing of industrial products. I, Dr. Ron Prabhakar Devale, welcome you all. Learning objectives for today's sessions. We are going to learn about to examine the spatial meaning of price in industrial marketing, to know the factors that influence industrial pricing decisions, to learn about pricing strategies for different products and different market situations, and to know the commercial terms and conditions prevailing in the industrial markets. We will start with the meaning. The industrial markets should understand the various aspects of pricing, since pricing is one of the most critical part of industrial marketing strategy. Different strategies such as market segmentation strategy, product strategy and promotional strategy are related to pricing strategy. In order to achieve the dual objectives such as to meet the company objectives and to satisfy the market needs, the industrial marketers has to integrate various strategies. When the members of buying committee of a buying firm purchase a particular industrial product, they are buying a given level of technical service, product quality, and delivery reliability. The other elements such as reputation of the supplier, friendship, a feeling of security, and other personal benefits flowing from the buyer seller relationships are also important. This is the figure. In the given figure, it can be observed that bundle of attributes expecting by the buying committee are fall under three categories. These three categories are product specific attributes, company related attributes, and sales personal related attributes. Look at the figure once again. Therefore, the total product includes more than its physical attributes. In the same way, the cost of industrial products include much more than the seller's price. Hence, decisions on pricing and products are inseparable and must be balanced with the firm's market segmentation plan. Now we'll talk about characteristics of industrial prices. Researcher Morris has identified seven distinguished characteristics of industrial prices. These are: first, price is not independent variable, it is intertwined with the product promotion and distribution strategy. Second, the real price of industrial consumer pays is quite different from the list price. This is because of the factors like delivery and installation cost, training cost, discounts, financial cost, and various trade in allowances, etc. Third characteristics: by changing the quantity of goods and services provided by the seller, changing the premium and discounts that are offered, changing the time and place of payment, and also numerous other ways prices can be changed. Compared to the product and distribution decisions, the decisions regarding pricing is more flexible. Fourth, the complementary and substitute products sold by the same company should be considered at the time of deciding the price for industrial goods. Fifth characteristics: prices can be resolved through negotiation in many cases. In most of the cases, the industrial prices are established by competitive bidding on a project by project basis. Six characteristics: industrial prices or industrial buyers who are experienced and able to estimate the vendor's approximation production cost expect the increasing price to be justifiable on the basis of either increasing cost or improving in the products. Hence, industrial pricing is often characteristic by the emphasis on fairness. Last characteristics is industrial prices are affected by several economic factors such as inflation, then changes in the interest rates, fluctuation in exchange rates, etc. This problem is particularly critical for the marketers locked into long term contract with no escalation clauses. Now we'll talk about factors influencing the pricing decisions. There are various factors. The factors influencing pricing decisions of an industrial marketing is now we are going to explain. We'll start with pricing objectives. The objectives of pricing should be derived from the firm's marketing and corporate objectives. Some of the pricing objectives which industrial firms can pursue are discussed here. First, we'll talk about the survival. Survival is one of the short-term objective for many industrial companies. Due to intense competition and other reasons, the firm may be unable to sell its products. For the survival of the firm, it reduces the prices to convert inventory into sales. The survival is more important than prices. Prices are fixed in such a way that they cover variable cost and a part of fixed cost so that the company continue in the business. Survival is only short-term pricing objective and in long run the firm must increase its prices to cover the total cost and end up with some profits. Next factor influencing the pricing decision is maximize the short-term sales. To maximize the sales revenue in the short run is the pricing objective for some firms. The belief behind such an objective is that by maximizing the sales revenue in the short run, the firms will have growth in terms of market share and also have profit maximization. Next is maximize the short term profit. Setting prices with the objectivity and objective of maximizing the profit in the short run may be pricing objective of some of the marketing firms. These firms estimate the market demand and cost at alternative prices and select the price that maximize the present profits. Estimating demand and cost is very difficult. This objective emphasizes on the short-term profit maximization rather than long-term performance and the customer relationship. The competitors' reactions and legal implications are not considered by the companies adopting this objective. Fourth factor influencing the pricing decision is market penetration. Based on the assumption that the market price is sensitive and that is low prices will increase the sales, the prices of product are fixed as low as possible by some firms with the objective of maximizing the sales volume and market share of its products. The other assumptions underlying are low prices that will discourage entry of potential competitors and highest volume, will reduce the production and distribution cost and leads to higher profit in the long run. Fifth factor is maximizing the market scheming. In the initial stage of product life cycle, high prices are fixed by some firms when they introduce new and innovative products. The new product is initially aimed at those market segments where demand is less sensitive to price. The firm schemes maximize revenue and profits by adapting the scheming objectives of pricing. The prices are lowered as the time passes and the sells down to attract new customers from price sensitive market segments. To maximize the sales revenue and profits, it is objective in the market scheming. The assumption made in the strategy is that different prices can be charged to different segments of customers at different times. There is also possibility that the competitors will be attracted because of the high profit resulting from the high prices in the strategy. Next is product quality leadership. The product superior quality products by producing superior quality products and charging little higher prices than the competitor prices, the industrial marketing firms may have an objective to be product quality leader in the market. This pricing objective results in higher profits. Last factor influencing the pricing decisions here we'll discuss is various other factors. So other pricing objectives such as to meet or to prevent the competition or maybe to establish the market, to avoid government interventions, etc., may be considered as objectives of pricing by many industrial markets. Next point is demand analysis. Now we'll discuss the concept. The concept of demand curve and price elasticity are very useful in understanding the relationship between demand or sales volume and price. In measuring the price and demand relationship, the other factors like promotion and customer service should be controlled, since these factors also affect the demand. The basic purpose of estimating demand curve is to determine the extent of change in demand for a product with the change in prices. The price sensitivity of many buyers will be summed up in demand curve. The demand curve indicates the degree of price sensitivity. The demand is inelastic. If it changes, much less proportionate than a change in prices, and demand if elastic if it changes substantially with a change in price. This is the formula which is helpful in determining the price elasticity of demand. The formula is like this: price elasticity of demand is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. So, what are conditions determining the price elasticity of demand? So, the demand is likely to be an inelastic under the following conditions. So, first is if there are few competitors or non-availability of substitute products from other industries, or and the buyer think the higher prices are justified by normal inflation or changes in government policies on excise duty or sales tax and other. Since the industrial products are technically sophisticated, the demand for such product is relatively inelastic in nature. Third point is cost benefit analysis. To formulate an appropriate pricing strategy, it is very essential to have an analysis of cost and benefits of industrial product from the customer's point of view. The benefits can be grouped into soft and hard benefits. Soft benefits include those benefits which are very useful and which are very difficult to assess, such as customer training, warranty period, customer services, company reputations, and so on. Hard benefits are the physical attributes of the products, such as production rate of machine, rejection rate of component, and price performance ratio. The cost for an industrial product mean price plus other expenses that are incurred in purchasing and using the product. For example, the cost of new oil refinery machine purchased by any oil mill includes price, freight, installation, energy usage, repair, and maintenance. The cost of production stopped due to failure of machine may also be included while calculating the machine cost, though it is difficult to estimate such cost accurately. The life cycle costing, the life cycle costing concept can be used by the industrial buyer at the time of purchasing the capital items and estimate the total cost of product over its lifespan. Life cycle costing takes into consideration the price, freight, transit, insurance, maintenance, energy, material, and labor cost over the useful life of the product. Negative externally caused by the product while it is used to produce is part of cost. Suppose the mining of iron ore using the explosive has harmed the flora and fauna and location population or local population due to sound and air pollution. This is negative externally being caused by the firm for which the firm is supposed to open healthcare or plan to restore the flora and fauna. These are also included in the cost of historical costing and may not be advisable under the circumstances and activities. Costing should be the oriented. The industrial marketers should evaluate the possible cost or benefit or cost benefit trade off decision made by the industrial buyer. In the quantum of discount offered by the industrial marketers as an incentive for purchase or large stock can be considered by the industrial buyer if the quantum of discount is more than the cost of carrying its inventory. The understanding of cost benefit analysis will enable the industrial marketers to set an appropriate price. What is cost analysis? Pricing strategy or decision of a company must consider the cost involved. Generally, the total cost consists of variable cost and fixed cost for a given level of output. Some of the cost elements vary over a period of time. Other cost element fluctuates with volume. The cost data are relevant to the pricing decisions. The industrial marketers must identify and classify the cost for making profitable pricing decisions. The classification of cost and their description is given as follows now. Now, classification of cost and types of cost. First is fixed cost. Now we'll elaborate each and every type of cost. So there are total seven type of cost. So first is fixed cost. Now what is the description here? The cost that do not vary with the production or sales up to a certain capacity of production or subject to the capacity in question. Examples are rent, interest charges, and managerial salaries, etc. The fixed cost or overhead are incurred irrespective of production level or sales volume. So this was about fixed cost. Next is variable cost, second number. Cost that vary in a direct proportion to the level of production. Examples are raw materials and direct labor cost. They are called as variable because the total variable cost varies with the number of units produced. Then is total cost, that is sum of the fixed cost and variable cost for any given level of production, that is called as fixed cost. So cost number 1 plus cost number 2 is equal to cost number 3, that is fixed cost plus variable cost will be total cost. Then fourth is semi variable costs. Now costs that vary with changes in output but not in direct proportion to the quantities produced. Examples are equipment repairs and maintenance cost. Semi variable costs have components of both fixed and variable cost. Next, direct cost. Fixed or variable cost that are incurred directly for a specific product or sales territory are called as direct cost. Examples are the selling expenses, then freight and raw materials. These are direct cost. What are indirect cost? Fixed or variable cost that can be traced indirectly to the sales territory or a product are called as indirect costs. Examples are production overhead, and quality control that are indirectly assigned to a particular product. Last one is allocated cost. Cost that supports a number of activities but cannot be objectively assigned to a specific product or a market. These costs are usually allocated across business groups or divisions by some arbitrary criteria. Examples are administrative overheads and corporate advertising. Next point is cost behavior at different level of outputs. For fixation of appropriate price, the industrial marketers should know how the cost varies at different level of outputs. By building a large plant sites, the firm may use economy of scale. To illustrate, a company is planning to manufacture a special type of fitting used for lamps. Now I will show you the table that shows the average total cost per unit of fitting the three alternative production volumes per year. So if the company plans to sell 30,000 fittings, that is last column, it should build the production capacity of 30,000 units, which will bring down the unit cost as rupees 209. So in the next, uh, yes, the last row you can see. So average total unit cost. Just consider the last column, that is 30,000 units, and now see the average total cost per unit is 209. So if I will repeat again, if the company plans to sell 30,000 fittings, it should build a production capacity of 30,000 unit, which will bring the total unit cost as rupees 209. So the average total cost per unit decreases as the production volume increases. However, the average total cost per unit increases as the production increases to 40,000 units. The company should therefore plan to produce 30,000 units per year, which is the optimum size as per that company. Since the fixed costs are spread over on more units, with each unit bearing a smaller element or fixed cost. This is the reason for a reduction in the average total cost per unit. The economies of scale should be taken as an advantage by the industrial marketers to make enough profits. While fixing the price, the industrial marketer should consider the competitor's price and price elasticity of demand. By economies of scale and learning curve concept, the industrial marketer should consider reducing the variable and total fixed cost. Now, here in this particular table, you can clearly see that if the yearly production volume is 15,000, then the average total cost is 296. And if we increase the yearly production to 30,000, then the average total cost per unit reduces to 209. Next is competitive analysis. Now, competitive level pricing is considered as an important pricing strategy by many industrial marketers. The information on product quality, technical expertise, and delivery of performance of the competitor should be analyzed along with the price and cost information. The information on the product quality, prices, and delivery performance of the competitor's product can be obtained by the industrial marketers through his sales force. By appointing a marketing research firm, the industrial marketers can get the competitive information or competitors' information. Based on the available information about the competitors, the industrial marketers can use the price as a mechanism to position a particular product. The industrial marketer is considered a change in the price as he has to forecast the reactions of the competitors and customers. And industrial marketers must study the actual sales, cost corporate objectives, financial situations, utilization of production capacity, and strengths and weaknesses. The reaction of the competitors should be anticipated soon after collecting the information of competitors. A competitor's response depends on his mindset. The competitors are likely to respond when the number of industrial buyer is less. The buyer the buyers are aware of price changes and the products are similar. Government regulations. Though we are living in the free market economy, the industrial market should know the effect of government regulations on the pricing decisions. The price discrimination by offering the cash volume or trade discount to the distributors or dealers is prohibited. A company must offer the same discount structure to its intermediaries, otherwise, it will be treated as price discrimination. Now, we'll talk about pricing strategy. After the analysis of pricing objectives, demand, cost, and competition, and government regulation, the appropriate pricing strategy should be formulated by the industrial marketers. The pricing strategies vary as the industrial product moves through its life cycle. The pricing strategy is a key factor in each of the four cells of the product life cycles, that is, the introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. So, we'll see one by one. For introductory stage, what will be the pricing strategy? So there are two pricing strategies available for a new product which is in the introductory stage of life cycle, and these are penetration strategy and scheming strategy. So an industrial marketers must analyze the price from the angle of the buyers. How soon the firm should try to recover the investment on the new product is important factor to be considered by the industrial marketers. So what is penetration strategy? When the price elasticity of demand is high, or the buyers are highly price sensitive, strong threat exists from the potential competitors and opportunity exists to reduce the unit cost of production and distribution. With the increase in volume, the penetration strategy is effective. The firm can draw on experience curve effect and can also achieve the economies of scale. This would give the company a strategic advantage of cost leadership over the competitors. The firm can adapt the pricing objectives of long term profit through large market share instead of short term profit objectives. So, this is about penetration strategy. Now, what is scheming strategy? The distinctly new product meant for a market segment that is not sensitive to the initial high price of scheming strategy can be adapted. The greatest advantage of this strategy is that it focuses on recovering the investment at an early stage by generating more profit. The price will be reduced at the latter stages to reach the other market segments that are more sensitive to price. The limitation of the scheming strategy is that more competitors are attached due to high profits. The products that are distinctive with the sophisticated technology and capacity intensity are suitable to adopt this strategy. So, this was about penetration strategy and scheming strategy. Now, we'll talk about growth stage pricing strategy. So, as the new competitors enter the market and more customers start using the product at growth stage, and industrial marketers face the pressure of reducing the prices below the introduction stage. At this stage of industrial marketers should focus his attention on product differentiation, then product line extension and building new market segments at this stage. As more suppliers enter the markets, the industrial buyers follow the purchasing policy of buying from more than one supplier. Therefore, the innovators firms are under pressure to reduce the prices. For third stage, that is maturity stage pricing strategy, here the competitors are very aggressive in the maturity stage. The industrial marketers has to cut into the competitors' market share to increase the sales volume. By adopting the low price strategy to match the competitors' prices, the industrial marketers can achieve high volume of sales. Last is decline stage pricing strategy. At decline stage, the industrial marketers has a wide choice of pricing strategy subject on certain conditions. The firm need to cut the prices but reduce the cost to earn some profits provided it has built a reputation of high quality product and dependable services. Another major strategy is to reduce the prices to increase the sales volume above the break even volume of sales and use the product to help the sell other products in the product mix. What is leasing? Leasing, which is an alternative to selling capital goods, is a common thing in industrial markets. Basically, leasing is an arrangement between the leasing firm and lessor and the user of the lease. The former arrangement to purchasing the capital equipment for the use of the latter. The lessee has to pay the lessor in the form of rental, and lessor remains the owner of the equipment during the specific period. So there are four types of lease. Now we'll explain those. First is operating lease. So operating lease refers to a short-term lease of a asset for an hour or for a day, etc. The next is financial lease. The financial lease is for basic term during which the lease is non-cancelable. The length of this basic period is determined primarily by the economy life of an asset and is usually shorter than the expected life. This arrangement provides some mean by which the company may continue to use the asset after the expiry of the basic lease period, or alternatively, the market price or market purchase price is negotiated on the lease termination. Next is the sale and lease back transactions. The sale and leaseback transaction provides for an arrangement by which an entity that owns a given asset may sell it to the leasing company and lease it back. This enables for lease to immediately defreeze the money and it had locked into the original assets, which become available to it for working capital or further expansion. Leverage lease. Leverage lease is an arrangement where two or more lessors may jointly acquire an asset and lease it to a lessee. This is so in case of very large assets where a single lessor may not be capable of acquiring it or may not be willing to shoulder the whole risk associated with it. Now we'll understand a few key terms associated with pricing of industrial products. These are: first is list price. So list price is the base price or basic price of a particular product consisting of various sizes or specifications. It is the published statement or basic price which is sometimes quoted or informed to the customers. The list price statement indicates the effective date of its applicability and mention the extra charges for optimal product features in excise duty, freight, sales tax, octroi, and transit insurance. The net price is worked out based on the list price, less discount, and other concessions. The net price is important or is most important to the organizational buyers because That is the price which is applicable to the industrial buyer after subtracting discounts and concessions. Next concept is trade discounts. The trade discounts are offered to the intermediaries such as dealers and distributors. The account of a trade discount depends on a particular industry norms or the functions performed by the intermediaries. Next is quantity discounts. A quantity discounts is granted by the industrial consumers or customers who buy the large volumes. It is the price reduced. It is a price reduction given by subtracting the volume discount from the price list. The quantity discounts are justified as they reduce the cost of selling, since bulk moves out of the leisure and personal selling experience or inventory carrying and transportation. The quantity discounts are given either on individual orders or on a series of orders over a longer period of time, usually 1 year. The basic idea behind offering discount or offering quantity discount is to encourage the customers to buy larger quantities and to maintain their loyalty. The decisions on the amount of quantity discounts depends on the demand, cost and competitive analysis. Now we'll talk about cash discounts. To ensure prompt payments, cash discounts are offered to customers in industrial marketing. It is discount applicable on the gross amount of the bill, provided customer pay the bill within the stipulated period from the date of invoices. Then is geographical pricing. Geographical pricing refers to the location at which the price is applicable. Geographical pricing strategy is influenced by a number of factors such as location of the company's plant, the location of the competitor's plant and their pricing strategies, dispersion of customers extend to the transport cost, demand and supply conditions, and competitive environment. And in geographical pricing, there are generally two methods on price basis which are stated in the offers or quotations submitted by the seller or buyer, and they are the X factory and for destination. Yes, X factory and for destination. So, what is X factory? So, X factory means the prices prevailing at the factory gate. When a seller quotes to a buyer X factory price, it means that the freight and the transit insurance cost are by the buyer's account. In other words, the seller will charge the cost of freight and insurance to the buyer. The more distant customers' landed costs are higher because of the freight costs. And FOR destination or FOB destinations, for or FOB. When a seller quotes to a buyer FOR destination or FOB destination, that is free on road or free on board destination. FOR means free on road, FOB means free on board destinations. It means the freight costs are observed by the seller or included in the quoted prices. However, transit insurance costs, which are smaller amounts, are generally absorbed by the seller, but sometimes the goods are dispatched under the open insurance policy by the buyer. In this method of the price basis, all the customers get the product at the same prices irrespective of their locations from the seller's factory premise. If the quotation or the price list on for destination basis, generally the industrial marketers estimates the average freight and insurance cost and adds the same to the basic product's prices. Absorbing this cost is rarely done by the seller. It is done only in an intense competitive situation to get business from a particular customer. Now we are moving towards the summary part. An industrial product is not only a physical entity but also a complex set of economic, technical, legal, and personal relationship between the buyer and the seller. Due to changes in the customer needs, technology, government regulation, and product life cycle, the product strategies are required to change in the industrial marketing. The product life cycle concept is used to determine different marketing strategies at different stages of product life cycle. The shapes of the product life cycle may vary for certain industry products, and the locations of a particular product on its life cycle will depend on the competition, industry profits, and industry sales growth. After evaluating the performance of existing product, the product strategies of existing products are developed. The alternative product strategies available for existing products are continue the existing products and its strategy modify the product and its strategy, or eliminate the product or add new products. A new product development is a difficult task, but it is necessary task for the profitable growth of a particular firm, which should analyze the factors responsible for the success and failure of the new industrial products. The various stages of a new industrial product development process are idea generations, idea screening, concept development and testing, then business analysis, product development, market testing, and commercialization. Industrial services are classified in broadly into two categories, such as products supported by the services and pure services. The unique characteristics of services are intangibility, inseparability, variability, perishability, and non-ownership. Before making the pricing decisions, the factors which influence the pricing decisions must be considered. And these factors are pricing objectives, demand analysis, cost analysis, competitive analysis, and government regulations. The important pricing objectives are survival, maximum short term profits, maximum short term sales, then market penetration, market scheming, product quality leadership. The demand analysis includes estimation of demand, scheduled, and cost benefit analysis. Industrial marketers must measure the relationship between price and demand for their products. For an effective price setting, understanding how the industrial customer evaluate cost or benefits is important. The concept of economy of scale, experience curve, and break-even analysis is a useful tool for cost reduction and cost control. Depending on the product and market situation, such as competitive market, new products, and product life cycles, the pricing strategies vary. Different pricing strategies are used when the product moves across the introduction, growth, maturity, and decline stages of the product life cycle. The industrial customers are given different types of discounts on the basis of various prices. The industrial marketer should respond with appropriate pricing strategy when the buyer is under the consideration of alternatives of buying versus leasing. So we have seen various types of leasing also. So here are few self-assessment questions. So you can pause the video and you can read the questions. Meanwhile, I'm just reading those. Industrial product is defined not only as a physical entity but also as a complex set of economic, technical, legal, and personal relationship between the buyer and seller. So elucidate this statement. Second question, why industrial marketers have to make changes in the product strategy? Third question, what step would you follow for developing product strategy for the existing products? What alternative strategies are available to the industrial marketers for existing products? Next question, if you are in a new product development team, what three factors would you convey to your team members as critical to ensure the success of the new product? Next question, explain with examples the unique service characteristics and their marketing implications. One more question, explain with suitable examples how the pricing objectives influence the pricing decisions. If a major competitor reduces the prices of cement by suppose 5%, how would you respond if you're marketing similar products to the same market segment, and why? Next question: why industrial marketers should not overlook the differences between